Hello ladies, Merry Christmas and welcome back to Thankful Thriftiness. For those of you who are new, my name is Marin. I'm a Christian wife, new mama, and homemaker who lives in the beautiful state of Michigan. I love hosting around the holidays, specifically Christmas, because it's already such a welcoming and cozy time of year. It's especially fun to come up with creative ideas to make your guests feel a little more at home and to throw a little extra sparkle into your normal hosting regiment. So whether you're an experienced homemaker who has hosting down to a science, or you're a new homemaker like myself who is still learning the art, here are some ideas to make the process a little bit more fun and hopefully a little bit less stressful. Let's start by talking about what most get-togethers revolve around, which is food. There are so many fun holiday foods that we don't get to enjoy during the rest of the year, but sometimes the reason we don't enjoy them throughout the rest of the year is that they're a little bit more complicated to make. One way to really simplify the meal itself is to make a crock pot dinner. There are so many ideas online of meals you can make ahead of time and throw them in the freezer and then just crock pot them later on. And I recommend stocking up on a few before the holidays. My favorite to make is chicken and dumplings. It only requires a few ingredients and it's so warm and filling and delicious. My mom and some other amazing homemakers I know are very talented at creating little appetizers and lots of little dishes for a meal, but I'm more of a one-pot sort of a gal. If you're an experienced homemaker, creating side dishes and extra little things to go along with the meal can be a fun process, but if you're new like me, I recommend sticking to more of a one-pot idea. Soups are super easy, no pun intended, and I think they taste better the next day, so you can make them in advance. If you want to jazz it up a little bit, buy or make a loaf of bread to go with the soup. Have some cheese on the side for people to put on top, and you're pretty much set. Remember, hosting is not about impressing the people you have over. It is about serving those who are in your home, making them feel welcome and loved. So if everything's not completely put together or super fancy, that might actually be a good thing. And for some people, that will actually make them feel more at home. For an appetizer or for just a more snacky sort of a get-together, creating a charcuterie board is absolutely okay. Okay, chill out. I don't mean that kind of charcuterie board. I mean cheese and crackers and maybe a little something extra. It's pretty inexpensive, pretty easy to throw together, and I just like to add some jam in a little cup and maybe some cold cut meats on the side. It gives people plenty of options to create their own little cheese and cracker sandwiches. I mean, how much better can it get? For an easy, aesthetically pleasing, and absolutely delicious dessert, hot cocoa bars are the way to go. You can make the hot cocoa ahead of time and leave it in a crock pot to stay warm, and then just throw together all the fixins that you want to, or not, or just serve hot cocoa, maybe with marshmallows, maybe not. I'm sure it's delicious as it is, but even new homemakers want to have a little fun, so have at it. Mini marshmallows, candy canes, chocolates to throw in the bottom of your hot cocoa for a little delicious surprise later. These are all things that you can just set out and let your guests serve themselves. If you have some extra time and are looking to jazz up your cocoa bar just a little bit, melt some chocolate, it doesn't matter what type, and create chocolate lace. All you have to do is set out some parchment paper on a cookie sheet, melt your chocolate, put it in a little Ziploc bag, cut a little hole at the end, almost like you're frosting something, and then draw designs with your melted chocolate on the parchment paper. As you can see, I'm by no means an expert, but I just did it for fun, and honestly, it was just for my husband and myself. We just appreciated the extra chocolate in the bottom of the cocoa, okay? If you're a master chocolatier or an artist, create as intricate of designs as you like. Maybe throw some sprinkles and marshmallows on top. I don't know, the world's your oyster, and this is just an option if you wanted to go the extra mile. One thing to make the food situation with hosting a whole lot easier is to freeze things like cookie dough balls ahead of time and bake them off the day your guests arrive. You can do this with all sorts of desserts and meals like the crock pot ones I mentioned. One more thing before we get off the subject of food is that food makes an amazing gift for pretty much anyone on your list this Christmas. For us, we had some big expenses come up this year, so we had less to put towards Christmas gifts. Instead, we're going to be making some really fun treats to give away, and I'm pretty sure at least most of the people we know are going to be just fine with that. Let's talk about the overall atmosphere of your home. First of all, find some Christmassy music that really is your style and kind of sets the mood you're looking for. I've linked a playlist down below of music I've listened to since I was a small child. It's really great to play in the background, it's super smooth and jazzy, and it can set the mood without being the center of attention. If your family's into doing advent calendars, add a little extra treat and open it with your guests. I always found this super fun at my parents' house, and though we haven't really started doing an advent calendar yet, I look forward to doing this when our kids are a little older. It can make people feel a little bit more like family, and that's what this is all about. If you want to spend your money on big, wonderful smelling Christmas candles to set the mood in your home, go for it. But for us budget homemakers, twinkly lights and little tea lights will do just fine to make your home more visually pleasing and to just give people more of a warm, cozy feeling. Whatever food you're cooking will make your house smell wonderful, so don't stress about that part. Unless your guests have issues with food smells, in which case, that won't work. Another idea to go the extra mile is to make sure to have extra pillows and blankets available, specifically clean blankets available for your guests to cozy up in. Also let them know, because most people don't feel comfortable enough entering into someone's home and then grabbing the nearest blanket to wrap around themselves. It makes me so happy when we have guests over to see everyone cozied up on the couch under a big fluffy blanket. Lastly, let's talk about the heart behind holiday hosting. Alliteration is beautiful when it works. Around Thanksgiving time, my mom always makes a thankful tree, which is basically a few twigs stuck in a pot or something to hold them up, and then little paper leaves that she cuts out. She places Sharpie markers next to the leaves and just has it out where people can write what they're thankful for. It's so encouraging to see what other people are grateful for, and in our family, it's kind of a fun way to do baby announcements if it lines up with the time of year we want to announce a new baby. As I mentioned before, for you the homemaker, your focus is to serve, not to impress. You want people to see Jesus and his love, not you or your home. You want them to feel welcome, like they're in a safe place, not like you are the best homemaker out there, because that's a lot of pressure, and I'm sorry, but that's not true, because there's always somebody better than you. Focus on inviting them into your home and into your life, even some of the little imperfections. Because imagine that someone who is either about to start homemaking or is a young homemaker walks into your home. Yeah, she might be wowed by everything going on, if everything's perfect, but it could give her an unattainable level that she's trying to reach for, and it could just be discouraging over the long run. I'm not saying don't put your all into it, but remember, it's not about us. Hopefully this video was a help to you, whether you're a new or experienced homemaker. Please share your own hosting tips and tricks with us in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Bye!